My name is Judie Dyck, and I am the President and CEO of the Moose Jaw Regina Industrial Corridor. And as John mentioned, newly minted. So I've been at it for a few months. It's a part-time, half-time position for me, and it's been a very interesting time for me. But I do want to thank John for the opportunity to come and speak, because clearly I need to continue working on the message about the corridor, and that was one of the things when I was interviewed by the Leader Post, is what is one of the things you're going to be doing? And I said, I need to promote the corridor to Saskatchewan. So the corridor is the 8 municipalities, the 2 cities, Moose Jaw and Regina, and the 3 urban municipalities located between the 2 cities, Pense, Belle Plaine, and Grand Coulee. And also the 3 rural municipalities, the arm of Sherwood, the arm of Pense, and the arm of Moose Jaw. So a number of years ago, they started to work closely together. There's a long history. I've yet to talk to the person who was involved in the original collaboration, but that's on my list to do. And we'll continue looking at how we can continue those. So the 8 municipalities actually formalized and became a corporation in 2013. And during the last, I say about 5 years, they've undertaken a number of studies, including a transportation study, an environmental study, some district planning, and but a lot of that work has been kind of at the 10,000-foot level. The district planning actually took the 8 individual plans from the municipalities and then kind of incorporated it to reflect the municipality's direction, and incorporated that into the corridor. So within the corridor, we actually have 3 nodes. The nodes is the transportation node, the heavy industrial node, and the light manufacturing node, which is located adjacent to Moose Jaw. So one of the things about the corridor, I think a lot of people don't know, is that 24% of the population and 20% of the GDP is within those 8 municipalities. That's a significant part of the province, and it's an important part of the province. So when we talk about marketing our regions, I think it's really important that we also look at marketing Saskatchewan. I've done international travel, and a lot of people don't even know where Saskatchewan is. So how can we get people coming to the corridor if they don't know where Saskatchewan is? So I think it's really, I'd be really interesting to look at sort of the cooperation among the different regions together to look at promoting Saskatchewan in collaboration with other stakeholders who are the government, industry, and trade organizations. And I think that's one of the strategies that we're going to be looking at, is in how we can use our limited resources, because the 8 municipalities have pooled some funding together to do some initiatives, and to hire myself on a half-time basis to move the corridor forward, largely on economic development and international investment attraction, whether it's international or local investment. So if you look at the 2 cities, you've got 65 kilometers along Trans-Canada Highway. You have the 2 railways, CP and CN. You have major infrastructure around utilities, and of course we have a lot of investment within that corridor, $13 billion within that corridor, which includes at Belle Plaine, Yara, Norwegian company. Now K plus S is a little bit further north, but we kind of included in the corridor as well. We have Mosaic Potash Mine, we have Terra Grains ethanol plant, we have K plus S, Windsor Salt, and other fertilizer companies, and others that are looking at that region. So there is a lot of interest around that heavy industrial area. It is one of the top industrial areas in North America. So if you look at, here's Regina, and this side is Moose Jaw in here, and then you have the RMs. I'm going to have to put my glasses back on here. It's not very... Okay, so in between here, so this is, of course, where the Global Transportation Hub is. So this is where our transportation node is. Then you get further here, Belle Plaine, and you're going to see heavy industrial area there. And in Moose Jaw, along here, you'll see the light manufacturing. This light manufacturing and the transportation hub will help support the heavy industry located in between. Now, of course, you see a lot of area here is agriculture, and so a lot of the land, of course, is farmed in here. There's a lot of, I think one of the things that people don't know is about 80 to 90% of the gas that goes through Canada actually goes through the hub, and so there it's outlined here. We did a district planning, and these are sort of the areas identified. There's the transportation, there's Belle Plaine, and there's those two light manufacturing areas. So, like everyone else, cooperation, building bridges, stakeholder engagement, working with other industries, working with our members, working with government is all going to be important. So the questions that John posed to me to talk about specifically around the bypass, and you've already seen a map of the bypass, is the, I think it's already Brian talked about it, and Ron as well, is the impact it will have on the region. I believe is going to be very positive. It's going to increase the flow of traffic, it's going to increase the safety of traffic, and it's going to open opportunities along the west side of Regina for highway commercial. So you're going to see traffic coming in from the north, being able to go around to the GTH, either continue west through the corridor to Moose Jaw, or travel down south to Highway 6 into Weyburn, or continue along east along the Trans-Canada Highway. The other question was, what is this region's biggest challenges as growth continues at a significant pace? And of course, we all know, I can remember years ago, traveling around Saskatchewan and small town Saskatchewan, you couldn't give a house away hardly in many small communities. And now many of those communities are starting to, are thriving, and now have the issues around infrastructure. So we see a lot of opportunities in growth, but it also brings some challenges. But those are good challenges to have. So one of the things that we have, I talked about a lot of agricultural land. Most of the land in the corridor is privately held. So if someone comes who wants to develop in the region, they're going to have to deal with a lot of individual buyers. And so that presents some challenges, because you know how it goes. There's nothing like a good rumor to get land prices going. And so that presents some challenges, and I understand some people are using land agents to deal with that, so that they don't get this, drive up the prices of land that they want to purchase. So that's one of the challenges. Of course, the other opportunity would be then to, suppose, purchase the land and development. But then the challenge would be, what would you develop it for, unless you knew the exact needs of people coming that want to do the economic development. You might have different demand needs, land sizes, and that's one of the opportunities Saskatchewan has, is that we have wide open spaces, and so we have, generally speaking, excess land to develop. Some of the other challenges are determining the options based on the location of the infrastructure and the cost of those infrastructure, and the lead times that's required. I want to give you an example. Prior to working with the corridor as the president and CEO, I have had a relationship with the corridor probably for a number of years, and have been aware of it before, because some of you may remember me when I was in the biofuel days, and of course I was out for the opening of Terra Grain Fuels. And where's my train of thought here? So what we decided to do, so one of the things I have done recently was the greenhouse project. And some of the challenges we found in doing the greenhouse project was to try to determine some of the pre-feasibility costs for a greenhouse in that region, largely looking at utilization of waste heat and CO2. And what we found was a couple things that were difficult in terms of where can you locate, because you have all these different infrastructure. You have the water pipelines, you have the gas pipelines, you have the utilities. So where can you locate? Then the other challenge, of course, is trying to determine what those estimate what those costs are going to be. And so some of the lead times from some of the utilities is, up to 6 months. So it becomes very difficult to try to coordinate all the approvals, environmental assessments, and utilities to move a project forward. One of the other challenges that we found in terms of that, of the greenhouse project, was to look at water. And so there's a bit of a mixed message I get in terms of water, but my understanding is for large-scale expansion in that region will require additional water. So I know that the provincial government is looking at how to do that, and it certainly is going to be, not an inexpensive venture. So those are another challenges in terms of expansion, is ensuring that we have all the necessary infrastructure and to meet the needs of whatever economic development occurs in those regions. The other one was the long-term regional plan for the area. Well, like everyone else that's been talking today, it's really important to have regional planning. It allows, we believe, our sort of slogan is we want to find the right business for the right location and the right location for the right business. So regional plans offer the opportunity to collaborate, to cooperate, for people to communicate in one room and take off their individual hats and put on the regional, or the corridor, in our instance, the corridor hats, to move development in the area, pool their resources, and to do some of the planning and some of the studies that we've been able to do. And of course, like White Butte, we've been able to access some of the planning for growth funds, and so that has been most helpful. So, what are the other questions? So the coordination of doing an economic project, going back to our greenhouse, in terms of we are looking at trying to how we can move this forward, is the ability to attract the capital, ability to put all the infrastructure in place and agreements in place to be able to do those waste heat CO2, the ability to find the operators, and that sometimes I believe all things are possible, but one of the challenges right now that we're facing is finding the right operator to find the right capital. I believe if you find the right operator and all the other ingredients are well, you can find the money. I don't think money's always an issue. I think it's just having a good plan. So I look forward to working with many of you in this room to help build our individual regions forward, as well as how we can continue moving all of the province forward. We're experiencing good times. I hope we continue to have good times, but we will always have challenges, and I look forward to meeting those challenges and working with everyone. Thank you very much.